All right, today we're going to dive into some of the big ideas that really shape our modern workplaces. We're going to break down three major management philosophies that have completely changed the game for how companies get things done.
You ever wonder about that? Why is it that some companies just click? They feel like these perfectly tuned, well oiled machines, while others just feel stuck, kind of clunky and out of date? Well, the secret isn't always about the latest tech or having the most talent. A lot of the time, it comes down to the core philosophy that's guiding every single decision. So let's get into it.
So here's the plan. We're going to start with the Japanese method, which is all about people. Then we'll shift gears to the quest for quality, which is obsessed with process. And finally, we'll look at the super radical idea of just starting from scratch. Then we'll tie it all together and see what legacy they've left behind.
Okay, first up, we're heading to post-war Japan for an approach that was absolutely revolutionary. It wasn't about machines or spreadsheets. It was all about human potential and building a strong culture.
This is what people often call Theory Z. It really took off when the whole world was looking at Japan's insane economic comeback and asking, how are they doing that? And researchers like William Uchi dug in and found this secret sauce. It was this unique mix of pushing for incredibly high productivity while also having this deep, deep respect for every person in the company. So at its heart, this whole method is built on a powerful cycle of loyalty. I mean, think about it. Companies offered things like guaranteed lifetime employment. They took care of their employees in a really holistic way, even after they retired. And what did they get in return? Just incredible dedication. Instead of being stuck in one specialized box, workers were trained to be generalists, to understand the whole business. And maybe the most important part, decisions were made as a group, so everyone felt that sense of shared responsibility. The whole system was really built on a foundation of trust.
Okay, let's switch gears to our next big idea. This one takes the spotlight off the people doing the work and shines it directly on the process of the work itself. This is all about the relentless, never-ending pursuit of perfection. And that brings us to total quality management, or TQM. The core idea here is actually pretty simple, but it is so powerful. Quality isn't just a box you check at the end of the assembly line. Nope. It's something that has to be woven into the fabric of everything the company does, from the very first plan to the final delivery. And the goal is always the same: make the customer happy and never, ever stop trying to get better.
This quote from W. Edwards Deming, who's kind of seen as the spiritual father of TQM, just nails it. He basically said, you can't inspect quality into a product after it's already been made. That's too late. You have to build it in from the very beginning. It's all about being proactive instead of reactive.
So how do you actually create this kind of culture? Well, Deming laid out some key rules. You have to be totally committed to improving every single process all the time. You have to use modern training methods for everybody. And this one is huge. You have to eliminate fear. You have to make it safe for employees to raise their hands and say, hey, I think there's a problem here. This is the kind of thinking that helped Toyota become a global powerhouse. They broke down the walls between departments and got everyone on the same team, all aiming for one single goal: perfect quality.
And now for our third, and I gotta say, most dramatic philosophy. If TQM is all about making slow, steady improvements, our next idea is about taking the entire rulebook, throwing it in the trash, and starting over with a completely blank sheet of paper.
And this is it: business process reengineering, or BPR. Now, you really gotta pay attention to the keywords here: fundamental, radical, and dramatic. This is not about making little tweaks. It's about asking a huge, almost scary question. If we were building this company from scratch today, with everything we know now, how would we really do things?
This chart really makes the difference crystal clear, doesn't it? TQM is like carefully tending a garden, making small improvements for steady, long-term growth. BPR, that's like bringing in a bulldozer, demolishing the old building, and putting up a brand new skyscraper in its place. It's revolution, not evolution.
So, what does a BPR project actually look like? Well, the change has to be fundamental. It has to get to the very core of how the business operates. It also has to be radical, not just some paint job on the surface. And the goal isn't just a 5% improvement, it's a massive, dramatic leap in performance. Back in the 90s, this was huge. Companies like Ford and IBM used BPR, powered by new information technology, to totally reinvent how they did everything from designing cars to managing supply chains. So we've looked at 3 very different but hugely influential ways that companies can think about getting better. Let's pull it all together and see what we've got.
Here's the whole thing in a nutshell. You've got Japanese management, which puts its focus squarely on people and culture to build that long-term loyalty. Then you have total quality management, which focuses on the process and the customer, with the goal of improving everything all the time. And finally, there's business process reengineering, which is all about radical change, starting over to get those dramatic results. 3 unique philosophies, each with its own powerful core idea.
And, that leaves us with a really fascinating question for right now. In this age of AI, machine learning, and automation, what's next? Which of these ideas are still relevant? Or do we need a totally new theory for this new world of work? What do you think the next great management philosophy is going to be?